All right, hit record there. Let me know that you can hear and see me. I'm going to pull up the chat and share my screen. Can you hear and see me? And let me know where you're coming from. Also, let me know because you're live, your Instagram handle, because I will be great. Spokane. Ooh, I hope the weather's not too cold yet over there. Um, Also, drop your Instagram handle because you're live. You'll be hearing this in a moment. I am going to be giving you a free Instagram audit. Okay, we're sharing the screen. Let me just put this on present mode. Okay, and let me know that you can see the screen okay. That would be wonderful. Welcome. I'm Allison McLean. I am a business coach for wellness entrepreneurs that want to work 100% online. Maybe they want to transition online. They're a manual therapist or they teach yoga classes out in the world doing a lot of demoing using their body and hands-on adjustments. Or they're looking to have a hybrid option. So today we're going to talk about how to bring your skills online so you're not 100% dependent upon your body to bring in revenue. And so you can get out of the back to back, one to one grind. And I'll tell you how we can do that specifically today. Perfect, Laurel. I love that. All right. You got your Instagram audit coming to you later this week. Welcome. All right. So we're going to give into a brief intro in just a moment as to why this is important. As I mentioned before, those of you that are live, you'll hear me say this a couple times just to make sure that people that are coming in a little bit late also hear it. If you want that Instagram audit, be sure to leave your Instagram handle in the chat because when we're done recording, I pull up that chat and I just go make sure that I'm giving you your audit. And that allows you to both when you get a new follower that lands on your Instagram page, if it's optimized well, then they immediately will hit follow, then potentially go book a consult or even just opt in for your free opt in. So you're growing your newsletter list. And I know because this happens to me most days of the week, I'll get an opt in or a consult, or some days, both. um, all right. And then we're going to go on to the 3 steps to grow your wellness business online. I am sprinkling in case studies throughout today's steps because I want to show you that this doesn't only work from me. This isn't a pie in the sky strategies that I'm hoping and praying will work. It's helped many of my clients that I work with, and I'm highlighting just a few of those stories today. I do have an offer, so you got to stick with me to the end to hear an offer for those of you that are live here today. Specifically, if you do want to work more with me, and I will let you know how and what that looks like, and also Q&A so you can get your personal questions answered since you are live here with me. And those on a replay, if you have questions following the replay, I know many people, we've got well over 50 people registered, and I've gotten responses saying people that they are going to watch on the replay. If you have your own specific Q&A that come up watching it on the replay, don't hesitate to send me an email. Just hit reply to one of the emails and I'll personally answer it. Okay, so if you're a wellness practitioner that really wants to hit 10K months, but you don't feel like you're like just going one session to the next, to the next, to the next, where you don't have time to eat, you don't have time to breathe, let alone go to the bathroom, have a sip of water. You want to have a manageable schedule and hit 5-figure months, you're in the right place. If you feel tired, like you're using your body to bring in revenue 100%. So I was a brick and mortar commercial based physical therapist wellness. I had a wellness clinic where I did physical therapy using my body. I was also a massage therapist of I still am, over 20 years, and yoga teacher. So I felt like when I had my brick and mortar business only, didn't have any online component, I just got started to worry because I was like, there's only so many sessions I can do in one day without physically getting tired. There's only so many yoga classes I can teach in one week without like over demoing one side, even though I would try to intentionally demo the right and the left. Just, sometimes when you're in the moment teaching, if you're a yoga teacher, you can drop it in the chat. You get into the moment so much, you forget to demo on the other side. And like, I just felt like, okay, first of all, I'm getting older, so I just don't want to be always rolling around on the mat and making sure I have to demo right and left without, tweaking my body all the time. And I also, you'll hear a little bit of my story, had a scary health diagnosis where the surgeon told me I had to get not one surgery, but multiple surgeries. And I was like, well, what happens when I can't use my body? What if I have to go through this again in the future? Like, I want to de risk my business. I want to create more security and reliability in my business that's not dependent upon my body. So, we're going to go over what that's going to look like today. And here's the cool part, sometimes a fear of bringing an online business is that you're going to have to market online, which you will. And I'll tell you how today, but that you're gonna have to spend all day, hours a day on Instagram, for example, and that's not the case. You do have to market online, but I'll teach you how to do that in a very, efficient way. Um, Plus, this whole system, when done well, you're gonna get out of clients booking just one-off sessions here or there, whether that be online or in person, and you're selling more programs, which is in benefit to them because they're going to get better results. Because, as a practitioner, if someone just works with you for 1 hour, I used to do this. I used to teach a lot of trainings and yoga workshops. And in the beginning, I get a lot of people that would request and be like, Allison, I want to work with you. But they I was hesitant in selling. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't see my full customer journey or understand that from a bird's eye perspective. I didn't know how to walk them through just getting to know me in one workshop or one class to spending thousands of dollars with me. So when they said, "Oh, that's really expensive. I just want to do one session. Can I just pay for one session?" I would then try to fire hose them with so much information in that one session that they often left overwhelmed and they weren't getting the results that they truly desired because it was like way too much information. They didn't know where to start. So they really didn't implement all the information, anyways, even though I was like giving them tons of valuable information. So it just didn't serve them. And it was when I started selling bigger programs and packages that people started getting a lot more results and coming to see me. Like, I have people that come to the my office here that have been with me for 5, 7, 10 years, and that is because they get results. All right. So if you want to hit those five-figure months, you want to have time for your personal life, not feel exhausted. The other thing when I was doing 100% manual work, teaching classes, always relying only on my body to bring in revenue in person, I was so exhausted on a Friday. I would come home and like face plant into the couch, and it would take all weekend to recover just to wake up on Monday and do it all over again. So if you can relate, let me know. I had to figure out how to have a business, how to create over six figures, but on a Friday, be able to enjoy life, go have fun with my daughter, go and do like walk around the zoo all day Saturday and feel like I have the energy to do that. And I'll show you how I did that because now I'm able to do that. And I was able to do that both as a practitioner and now as a business coach for sure. And also, this process, these 3 steps I'm going to show you is going to help to simplify your business. So that's what I do is I help clients create both so much freedom in their personal life because now they have energy and they have time where they feel like, oh, I can go spend time with my family. I can go hang out with my girlfriends. I can go and do nothing. And because I have luxurious amounts of time, they create freedom in their business because they're able to follow their purpose. I have so many people that are just like, I just want to help more people. And I know if I worked with them I have people reaching out to me on Instagram that live in other areas of the world, the state. They're not local, but I feel like if I only have my brick and mortar, I can't help them, so I turn them away and refer them to other people. So you have freedom to work with anyone, anywhere. You have freedom to utilize all your certifications and talents. You're not stuck in a box having to do um, programs and sessions in a cookie cutter formulaic way. You're able to follow your creative intuition, and through all that, my clients and myself are living a very fulfilled life. So for example, like my client Joe here, he has a hybrid. He's mostly online, he does some in-person work. And um typically I don't recommend this starting out in a business. He's newer in business. He transitioned from being a lawyer to a spiritual practitioner, and he had this intuitive downloads and all this information inside of him really wanting to come out and write a book. And so we created freedom in his business to be able to bring in revenue and work in clients and learn how to sell packages of 13, because at the time when he started working with me, he only had a couple clients and they were doing random one-off sessions. He didn't have any reliable reoccurring revenue. Yeah, he really wanted to write this book. So we individualized his sessions and his week and his schedule, so he did have time to write his very first book, and he learned how to position his offer and sell packages of 13. And now from where we started, he's had months that he's more than doubled his revenue. He's had months that is actually more than tripled his revenue. In fact, I was just talking with one of my clients earlier today. She's going to be on the podcast eventually, where we just talked about scheduling her podcast, and Joe's on the podcast too. If you He's been on a couple of times if you want to hear his story. But my client Dana, she just started working with me in her physical therapy brick and mortar office, and we were talking about today about how to bring that work online, and we were going over her numbers, and she's just been working with me just over 1 month, and and she's brand new to business, had a revenue goal of hitting 2,000 in that first month, and she blew it out of the water and hit 4,500. So you can create anything you want, and it doesn't have to take a long time. My client Kelly is mostly online as well. Yet she was teaching a lot of in-person yoga classes, and we learned how to leverage those classes. In one session, I taught her how to sell without selling. It's a module I teach in my portal, and she was able to go out and utilize those techniques in her next yoga class, and she created a consult, created clients. So it can happen quickly. And I'm going to teach you those steps today. So, the problem I think that really hinders a lot of people from achieving these results that my clients are achieving is they, they don't have someone helping them believe that clients will actually pay for high ticket services, especially online, especially if you're used to using your hands and energetics or doing hands on adjustments in person. You kind of have hesitations and doubt, like, how can I make this a real legit business? Do people actually pay for that sort of thing? How do I become not a stranger on the internet where people actually trust me? So we're going to go over that process here. I see a lot of people that have this fear that they're going to invest a lot of time and energy and money trying to learn how to market online and build an Instagram following, and they won't see results from it. So because of that, they hold themselves back. They kind of dabble in Instagram, meaning they post randomly here and then maybe don't post again for another week or two, and then feel inspired to post and then do another one, but they're not going all in. They're looking for proof that it'll work before they invest the time or money. And that is actually backwards. You have to go all in and believe first, because when you don't believe, then that's when you're stuck in all these issues that I just said, the one-off hustle. I see a lot of people that have many low ticket offers, whether it's workshops, a $200 program, a one-off session, all these different ways that people can work with you, but what that does is it scatters your energy. There isn't a streamlined funnel or customer journey in your business. So you never know what you're marketing or what to market or what to prioritize, where to spend your energy, and your audience doesn't clearly know their next step or what is even appropriate for them because you're the expert. They want you to recommend it. But if they can't talk with you or don't know their best next step, they usually freeze and don't do anything. And because of that, business feels complex and hard, and you're in a lot of doubt and confusion. So the solution is to believe, first of all, we're going to get some of that belief today with the proven system that people do pay for high ticket wellness services and online. And you might say, okay, there was a big boom in the pandemic because people were forced to work with people online. You couldn't come and see it in person. But the truth is, if you have the solution to a problem that people have in their day to day, and you have the answer to get them out of that, they will pay you. It comes with knowing how to communicate that. So, when you do have that streamlined system, that online offer, it simplifies your business. You show up with belief. You create more trust in your audience and trust within yourself that you know what you're doing. And because of this, you know what to market. Your time is more efficient. So when you actually sit down at the desk to work in your business, you know what you're doing. And when you have a rinse and repeat process, you are repeating it. We were just talking about with this Dana today too, because next week she's doing rinsing and repeating of what's working. You get better at it. You get more efficient. So, for example, an Instagram post that used to take you an hour, now you can do under 10 minutes. And plus, when you have an offer where you're working with people for a longer period of time and you're doing it again and again and again, and people are sticking with you longer and seeing the whole process through, you get better at doing it. So that actually, all of this is not just benefiting you or your business, because I know the whole reason why you're a wellness entrepreneur in the first place is not just to make money. It's to actually help people. You want to fulfill, you have so much passion within you with all your certifications and skills and trainings. You want to like use it to help people. But the problem is if people aren't working with you, if they're only working with you for one session, you're not able to utilize all that. So you want them to stick with you longer so you can help them better, they get bigger results, and you're really utilizing all those trainings that you spent a lot of money on in the first place. And here's the thing, when you're on social media, if you're doing workshops, when you have the clear funnel, the streamlined process, the repeatable system, it doesn't take hours of time. You will get people converting from your workshops to high ticket programs. And here's the best part, if you still like your low ticket offers, like workshops or a $99 program that you have, you can still use them. But it's from a different perspective. Often in the first couple of sessions of working with my clients, they're mind blown. Like I just started with a new client, Katie, oh, no, it was earlier this week. She did her first onboarding call, and she has many different, she's a yoga teacher, she's a health coach, she's also a chef, and works a lot with nutrition and diet. And she was keeping everything very separate, but her mind was blown when we brought it all together into a simplified process. She even has two Instagram accounts, which I don't always recommend, but for her, we're keeping because one is very food oriented and the other is very movement oriented, but it all leads to the same place and be simple. Okay, so I get the whole certification thing where you think that it's more certifications that'll bring in clients because as you see here, I have a lot of certifications myself. I have my doctorate in physical therapy. I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years, considered a holistic health practitioner. I'm not just a yoga teacher. I'm also a yoga therapist and IAYT certified. I'm a certified coach. And then if you look behind me, There you see I have a lot of certifications there. On this wall up here, I have a lot of certifications that aren't even mentioned here, like a Reiki practitioner. Um, and I always thought when I was a practitioner that if I just get another certification, it's going to establish the trust with the audience and they will know that I'm a legitimate person that's out to help them. And they will come to me. And that is not true. That might have worked years and years, decades ago. It doesn't work these days, especially when you're online. There are a lot of people online in the wellness field, but it's the if you look at the studies, the wellness industry itself is projected to double and triple over the next few decades, becoming $1 trillion industry. So people need wellness in their lives more than ever. They're burnout of Western medicine not solving their problem. They're burnout of seeing practitioners with no solutions because they were in a mill system. They need your help, and we just have to get you out in front of more people in that simplified way, which you can do online. So, as I was hinting to before, when I first started my practitioner business, I was working 7 days a week in person. I was teaching yoga teacher trainings and workshops on the weekends. I was leading yoga classes at night and in the morning, squeezing in patient sessions in between, which a lot, all that used my body. I was really exhausted. I wasn't seeing my poor daughter at the time as much as I really wanted, as much as she wanted. She told me one time, I came home from a yoga teacher training. She's like, "Mommy, I missed you. And now I have to go to school because it was Sunday." And then I got a scary health diagnosis. I was diagnosed with two things at the same time: rectal cancer, stage one. Fortunately, I'm very lucky, and a genetic mutation, which is how it was caught at stage one. But it really opened my eyes to sustainability in my business. I realized I did not have a sustainable business in my schedule. And just for the big picture of my business, if I were ever to get cancer again. And plus, I have all these screenings. Like, my business is very risky if it's 100% dependent upon my body. So prior to the pandemic, I learned how to transfer my skills online. I had to attend a lot of masterminds and courses and get into Amy Porterfield's world. If you know her, I recently taught for her group. So it was like a full circle moment this year. It was really rewarding. Um, I had to learn all that even before the pandemic hit. The great news is the pandemic showed that if you're a brick and mortar business 100%, how risky that was, right? You had to close your doors. And if you weren't in a position to pivot online quickly, which I was, I kept my business going. Like, my CPA, she was like, "Allison, how did you do so well during 2020? In 2021?" I was like, "Well, I was positioned to move online. I was already doing online services, so I could easily just shift everyone online. People still kept coming to me. My schedule stayed full. My business did not get hit. So and now I know, like, no matter what happens with my health, I have a very sustainable business. And that is how I got into business coaching, was because during that pandemic time, people saw me thriving. People saw it working for me. And they're like, "Allison, teach me how. How do you have a brick and mortar business? How do you make it successful? How do you do both? How do you have a virtual and in person? I want to do that." Or some people, I have a lot of clients that are just 100% online. So that is how I got into business coaching. And I only sell high ticket offers, which you're going to learn about your offer here in a little bit. I have again, a very sustainable business model. Last year, I work less than 30 hours a week. I create multiple six figures. Last year I took, I think, it says more than 6 weeks. I think I was looking at it 8 or 9 weeks off, and I have control over my schedule. I still do one-to-ones. I love one-to-ones, but with an online program, you can get out of that time for money trade. You're not forced to do the week after week, back to back to back. I create my schedule how it fits for me and my energy levels. But as I hinted to before, the key to start is believing that it will work for you. You have to start with that first. You can't look for the proof first. You have to go all in. All right, so we're going to work through that process. If any of this relates, just drop it in the chat. A few more people just came in during that whole section. So again, if you want that Instagram audit, just leave your Instagram in the chat. You can personally DM me if you're like, I don't want people to see my Instagram. I'm kind of embarrassed of that. No shame, no judgment. I've been there. You can just you are able to personally DM me your Instagram handle if you want, and no one else will see it, just me. And because when I download the chat at the end, I'll give you that review and it'll help you. I did this before for a couple other webinars and people loved it. They told me that they it just simplified any confusion on what to do in their bio and such, how to use those little highlight bubbles and any pin posts, that sort of thing. So you can get clients, get those consults while you're sleeping. All right, we're going to break down the 3 steps right now. So here's the overview. If you want to take a picture of it, we're going to talk about how to create that high ticket wellness offer and have it feel in alignment with you. We're going to go over the marketing systems without having to spend all day on Instagram. We're also going to go over the missing step that a lot of wellpreneurs don't have. They're often just in their yoga classes or on Instagram. When people inquire about their services, they're just like, "Oh yeah, the cost of my session is $200. Do you want to book it now?" And you're skipping that consultation step when it's key. So we'll go over what that looks like as well. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, great. I see some Instagram handles coming in. I love this. Keep them coming. And I'll probably say that one more time if more people come in. So, okay, we're going to talk about that high ticket offer. So what happens if you're not having a high ticket offer and you're doing the one-to-ones? Often people are teaching more than 4 yoga classes a week. They're having, as I said, many different low ticket offers where they're more like a strip. I heard this analogy on a podcast once and it just resonated. It's more like having a strip mall where you have a whole bunch of different stores that are all on the same level, where the good thing about a strip mall is like you usually have the pet store, the hair cutting place, the grocery store. So as a consumer, you know where to go, right? If you need food for the family, you're going to go to the grocery store. If you need pet food, you're going to go to the pet store. If you need your haircut, you're going to go to the hair cutting place. But the problem with too many um, offering that plaza experience, especially online, is that if they're all really similar, so you're going to hear about my client Julie's story in a moment. She's a spiritual coach, so she had like a spiritual coaching session, a psychic medium session, a Kashi record session, all these different sessions that were very similar, and similar pricing, maybe varying in $10 difference here, $20 difference here. The customer just doesn't know where to go because they're not clearly differentiated. So it's like having a strip mall, but the client standing in the parking lot looking at all of these and being like, I don't know which store to come in. So they just get in their car and turn around and leave because they're going to go to a place where it's simpler and they understand that next step. The other thing is when you're offering all these low ticket offers, like even if it's $400 or $200, or a membership model, I often see. I want to turn all my recorded workshops. I work with a somatic practitioner. She's a physical therapist and also a somatic practitioner. Betty, she's very experienced. And she has a very warm audience. It's not huge, but it's very warm. And she's like, I want to sell a lot of my recorded workshops and recorded audios online. And that's primarily at first where she thought she wanted to make her revenue from. But when I looked at her audience, she doesn't have the numbers to create the revenue goals that she was hoping for, those 5-figure months. If you're selling a $49 offer, you need hundreds of people every month to hit thousands of dollars. Most people that start with me, they might have 1,000 people on Instagram and 200 people on Instagram or on their email list, which is good. but not for a low ticket offer. So the way to maximize hitting 5-figure months with a small audience is having a more mid-range to high ticket offer. And again, the way to do that, you have to believe that people will buy it. So, whoops. Hold on a second. I just exit out of the out of my whole presentation. User error. Just give me a moment here. But in the meantime, if you have questions so far, you can drop them in the chat or send me a DM on them. Here we go. I got it back up. Good thing I didn't have my financial records there, you know? Okay. We're going to get back to where we were. So when you have that high ticket offer, it gets you out of this burnout cycle because you're not having all those low ticket offers. You're not exhausted doing those one-off sessions where you're trying to fire hose and give everything. You're not completely dependent upon your body, especially your offer can be a hybrid of in-person and online, which is gives you so much, again, freedom and flexibility. So then, oh, did I not? No, hold on. I saw a chat come in. Here we go. How many people would you have suggested for Betty to have on her following to move into a different level of income? So Betty, right now, with her audience of 200 people or less on her Instagram, can totally hit 5-figure months, having a higher ticket offer, which is what we made, and which is what I am. I'm going to talk to you about the process on how to do that in just a moment here in this step. So for her, she has the audience that she needs right now. It's the low ticket offer that you need like thousands and thousands of people on your email list, 20,000, 50,000 on Instagram to consistently every month have enough people come through at a $49 offer or a $99 offer, which is more of the membership style. So that's when you really need a huge audience. For Betty, she's there. And she, here's the thing, she's already hitting those 5-figure months. In fact, she on the consult call with me, she told me this is how beneficial consult calls are. This is a sneak peek into why you want to do them. So she came to the consult call and she was like, Allison, I really want to hit 6-figure months, which is 8,000 a month, right? And she was telling me more about how many people she works with a week. I think she said she works with like 20 some people a week, which is a high volume, and she charges 150 a session. That's what it was. And so like I calculated it out and I was like, Betty, I was like, you're already hitting 6-figure months. Like if you're charging $150 a session and seeing 20 people a week, that's over $8,000 a month. And she was like, what? And she told me, because now she's a client, she got off the call and didn't believe me. She's like, no, she's just making that up. So then she went to her bank account, right? And she's like, so I should have like plenty of money in there because I'm hitting more than $8,000 a month. She went to her bank account, didn't have that money in there. And she was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because she talked to her husband and she talked with some friends. She said, this business coach says I should be, with these numbers, I should be hitting more than $8,000 a month. Where's the money? You know where the money was? In her Square account. She uses Square because she does in person. And now we got her doing a hybrid. She does both. But she was charging people, but she hadn't connected her bank account to her Square account. So she emailed me and she goes, oh my God, Allison, I am already a 6-figure earner. Like that's what she learned on the console. And she gave herself a huge bonus because she had over $12,000 sitting in her Square account. So she gave herself a huge pay raise and now she's into hitting 5-figure months. So that is Betty's story. So after the hour, after you have that high ticket offer, you're able to be like Betty. You can streamline. So we simplified getting her out of those one-off sessions and having her sell more packages, either virtually. We're promoting her virtual somatic classes or in person. And that is how you hit 6 figures with a small audience. Okay, let me make sure I don't click out of there. And then you come into a signing client cycle instead of that burnout cycle where people are working with you longer. I remember when I first started selling bigger packages and I wasn't fire hosing them all in those one session, not knowing if they would schedule again or when they would schedule again. And I remember thinking, like, when I first started selling those, people were coming consistently. I remember thinking in one session, being like, I don't have to rush. Like, I know they're coming next week, so I can slow down. I can give them more digestible information. I immediately started getting more energy and I could work with more one to one clients. And my clients started seeing more results because I was giving them bite sized, digestible information that they were actually implementing it. They were like, I was helping them to fit it into their lifestyle. So now they were developing a healthy lifestyle instead of just me giving them a to-do list to try to squeeze into their schedule. There's a big difference. Okay, so here is the process. I'm realizing this does step 3. We're on step 1. Um, with this process, here is how you combine. Many people get overwhelmed. They're like, well, Allison, I want to work online. I want to work in person. I want to do all these things. How do I make it one offer? You just create the structure for that offer, whether it be you look at the average length of time that someone would need to work with you to get certain results. So, my client, for example, Rachel, she just started working with me last month. She has a cool story too. She had a revenue goal of hitting 4,000 in our first month working together. She's has a clinic that's in person, and also she wanted to do online functional medicine. And so we had to clarify her offers, who was appropriate for in person, and what would be that higher ticket online offer in functional medicine. What would that look like? And utilizing all her knowledge because she has many different ways to work with people. And we did that. And within that first month, she sold, I forget if it was 2 or 3 people into that online offer, but her revenue was 6,600. So you can totally utilize all the certifications you have. You just have to get clear on the structure. So for Rachel, we had to, her online offer, it's 3 months, I believe, but we had to look at what would be the average amount of time for someone to work with her to get results. Of course, there's going to be outliers of people that do it quickly or people that do it need more time. They can always re up with you, but you're looking for the average person. And within that, this is how you get out of the time for money trade is you don't have to do sessions every week. So, for example, my business coaching, I have a 6-month offer. People show up consistently 3 times a month to my calls. And that creates a little bit more flexibility in your schedule. I have clients that have an online offer and they're meeting, like you'll hear Julie's story in just a minute. She was meeting with her people in her VIP offer. She called it twice a month. So you could decide the number of visits that's going to best serve your clients to get the results and then also serve you and your schedule. But when you have this offer, it's also how you're going to create more security in your business of having the opportunity for reoccurring revenue as well. So your finances and your revenue get more predictable. And I work with that with my clients on how to track all that as well. And here's the cool part. Even if you have an in-state licensure, you can work with people online. For example, I'm a physical therapist. Legally, I can't work out of California. And I've talked to many lawyers about this. In fact, I even have a lawyer on the podcast saying this in his words. Um, I do wellness online. And what I did is get a contract that says this is not physical therapy, this is not rehab advice, this is wellness. So you can utilize those certifications like Dana, who I was talking about earlier. She's a yoga teacher, she's a yoga therapist. So she can do yoga online. And so we were talking about how to differentiate and actually like clarify that to your people if they do want to work with you virtually and in person. You can have the contracts. It's very simple. You just get a contract made up and you tell your people that you're doing wellness or yoga or coaching, whatever certification you have, use it and do that online and keep your rehab in person. It also creates a very holistic service based where people, it's very different than Western medicine, where people are burnt out of that. So, as I mentioned, Julie, she came to me, she'd been in business 17 years. And she wanted to be 100% online. She didn't want to have people coming to her house anymore. She was stuck at 2 to 4K months. She tried everything: Facebook ad, live launches, low ticket offers, trainings, multiple different offers. She felt like she tried it all. Within 6 months, we actually blew past that revenue goal of 8K and she hit 10K. And even like these days, she's always telling me, Allison, I can't get over how I'm working so much more efficiently. She works less time and is making way more money because we simplified all those offers for her, and she got clear on her marketing plan as well, which we're going to go over next. That's the next step, is your six-figure marketing system. So this is often what happens when you don't have a clear marketing system. Like, you might show up on Instagram one day, LinkedIn the other, and then you might be like, okay, I'm going to try a workshop. That didn't quite work out the way I wanted. So now I'm going to do this challenge. Oh, let me try networking. You're like kind of bouncing around. People say it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Hopefully one piece of pasta sticks and works, and then you can do that. You actually, that's again backwards. You have to create the belief in whatever marketing plan that you choose. I help my clients choose it based upon their strengths and their likes and also where their audience is, um, and know that it will work for you. Because here's the truth: with the ways to market is endless. It's endless, the options of marketing, and there's no one right way. Even though in like kind of bro marketing styles, they'll tell you like this is the way, there's no one right way. All of it works. So you'll see if you look around with businesses, they're marketing all kinds of ways. You got to do it in a way that's in alignment for you. And then you got to do it in a way that's going to bring in reliable leads. So you're able to show up consistently and build trust with your audience. And so, primarily, I'd say for most of my clients, we have, and I'm going to teach you this in a moment, two main places where I market. One is social media. I say most popular is Instagram specifically, and then workshops. I teach my clients the six-figure lead generation workshop system. But if you're teaching a workshop, like which I used to do a lot of in person and filling them out, if you have that high ticket offer on the back end of it, that is how you're taking a workshop where you can make a few $100s with in person. Maybe it's like 600 or 1,000, like if you have a full room. But if you're selling, let's say your high ticket offer is $2,000 and you're selling 3 clients, you take them through the consultation, which is step 3, which leads to your offer. That is how you are able to take that one workshop where before, if you didn't have that process, you'd create a $600, which is great. But if you sell 3 clients into your high ticket offer, it becomes $6,000. So that is, and you're getting paid to market, which is very unique to the wellness industry. Most other industries don't have that option to get paid to market. So that is one thing. When you're aware of that and you know that system, then you can go out and it becomes a system where it's rinse and repeat and you get better at doing it. And when people see you showing up consistently, you build trust with them. So even though you're that stranger on Instagram where they've never met you before, they trust you to take that next step, especially if you have that consultation, which is step 3, where it's an investment of time, but not yet an investment of money, where they can talk to you and tell you your problems, and you're able to give them a customized offer, which is your high ticket offer. So, the process of your marketing system is number one, you need to show up consistently. So, figuring out where that might be. I have clients that do in person workshops, in person networking, but they have an online program. So it doesn't matter. You can market in person for online. You can market online for online. If you have a hybrid, your online workshops. I was just talking with this about my client, another Katie. I have three Katies that I'm working with right now. Another Katie, she's in Australia, and she's having a retreat at the end of November. But she wants to host an online workshop for her people. And she's like, well, what happens if someone that's not in Brisbane in the local area, they want to work with me? Well, she can work with them online, or she can market her in-person retreat. So she is using that workshop to market for both her in-person service of the retreat and her online virtual services. So it can be dual, it's multi-layered, but it doesn't matter where you show up. You got to show up where it feels in alignment for you. So if Instagram is like pulling teeth and you hate it and it's an energy suck, don't do that. You love networking events, go do that. For me, Instagram is fun. I get to be part of my creative process. Um, and play around and have fun. If you follow me on Instagram, it's Ignite Your Wellness Business. You'll see that like I goof around in some of my reels and I like laugh at myself. So, and I connect with a lot of you here are from Instagram. I get to meet wonderful people on my channel that I get to eventually work with some of them. Another great workshop marketing system, again, as I have hinted to, is workshops and webinars. But you have to look at them as not a standalone. You have to look at them as what's the next step? The next step is that online offer. Okay, and so then my client Justine here, when she first started working with me, she had a brick and mortar office and she was actually thinking of closing down the doors. Now, Julie and Justine, all these, not Julie and Justine are also on the podcast. Dana is recording her podcast. Rachel is not on the podcast yet. Some of these other clients will be featured in upcoming months. So Justine was so exhausted from her one-to-one practice and trying to manage staff and having very little profit that she was actually thinking of closing down the doors when she started working with me. And I asked her at one point, I was like, okay, Justine, it's an option. However, imagine yourself like a year from now, not having this business and working with these clients. Would you feel fulfilled? And she was like, no, my purpose is I love the work that I do. I love my patients. Something would be missing if I wasn't doing this work. And so the answer was to keep her business open, but how do we make it more sustainable? And she also told me, like, I have a craving to work online and help people online. And she has a very popular website and Instagram where she was getting people reaching out to her from all areas of the world. And she felt limited, like she couldn't work with them. So we did a lot of cleanup in both her business and her schedule so she could sleep better, have more energy. We did restructuring of her staff. And then we started working on her online program. So what was the result of all this work was now she has a staff that she loves. She just hired a PT and is doing great. And she has two front office admin for her clinic. So her clinic is more self-staying. She doesn't have to do everything in there. She actually dropped down one of her treatment days and she launched her online program. She created her own methodology using all her certifications called the Fit to Be method. And she launched these fitness classes, which is more of a membership style, but she gets primarily her revenue through her one-to-ones. So that's fine because it works for her to hit her revenue goals. And she surpassed her launch goal more than once. So she had launch goals of when she did them, 10 to get 10 people in. And the first one she had 14, and the next one she had 17, or it was flipped. So she surpassed her launch goals. And now she's bringing home way more profit. So again, it doesn't matter, like, all, as you can see, all these clients that I work with, all their businesses are a little bit different, right? How it's set up in the brick and mortar, whether they're a solopreneur or have a team. whether they're doing 100% online like Julie, or they have a hybrid. This system is very you can diversify it for any type of wellness business. You just need the system. Okay, so step 3 is those consultations that I alluded to. So often when you don't have consultations, it's because that, first of all, again, you believe that people won't buy those high ticket offers. So you don't have a clear path of taking them from meeting you in a workshop or meeting you on Instagram to that next step where they can get to know you a little bit more, to that high ticket offer. You're just trying to sell those one off sessions or those low ticket offers right from messages in Instagram, or right from the end of a class where it's just not the time to have a conversation about their problems, because either you have to get on to your next class or private session, or the clients have to get on with their workday or go pick up their kids. Like, it's not the time to be having a conversation of, oh, this thing is $99, buy from me. Like, you need a safe space for people to actually like tell them their problems, where it's not going to be overheard in a busy studio or at the end of a workshop. Um, so the problem is, when you're getting a lot of no's, you're making these offers of, oh, my session's $150. And you're like, no, people are like, no, I'm not sure about that. Of course, you're going to doubt that you can sell like a $2,000 program, right? Or if you have launched a $200 program and people aren't buying straight off your Instagram messages, right? You can feel all these ways, like overwhelmed. Will this really work for me? I'm exhausted because now I'm putting in all this effort, but I'm not seeing the rewards. You feel stressed, like, am I actually going to make money? Or what I hear a lot of times from clients that when they first start working with me is like inadequate, like, am I really the person that can get my clients results? Do people actually want to work with me? They kind of take it personally, like something must be wrong with me. People don't like me. And it's none of those things. Plus, you're a wellness entrepreneur. If you're feeling this whole list, then you're not feeling thriving. You're not feeling energetic. Not that you have to be 100% well and energetic and happy 100% of the time, but you don't want to be stuck in those other feelings 100% of the time either. A wellness entrepreneur is someone that's able to handle hard times, hard emotions, and move through them to back to feeling happy and energetic and fulfilled. And that is really the path of the wellness entrepreneur. And when you're able to live and breathe that yourself in your day to day, then you show up more authentically as a wellness entrepreneur practitioner. And your clients, they see it. They I can tell when I've been to a wellness entrepreneur who's exhausted in a one-to-one session. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to work on me, because I can tell they're tired. And I know, like, my heart just breaks for them. I don't want them to give more energy giving me more body work, or a session, because I can tell they just need to replenish. Like, you don't want your clients to feel that way. Or I've been to yoga classes with burnout teachers that are like, did I say right or left? Like, this is my fifth class of the day. I can't remember what side of the body I'm on. Or wait, did I demo this already? Did we do that pose already? Like, you can tell when someone's burnt out, right? It's not a pleasant feeling as the client, and you don't want to put your clients in that position. So you want to have a process that allows you to serve your people the best, and also allows you to fill your cup and acknowledge anything you're going through in your life. So when you have this system of the offer to the marketing, to now they come to consultations, you're able to meet with them and talk with them and hear about their problems, and mentioning your offer of working together for 3 months for $2,000. It feels more natural, because you're not trying to push them into just buying one session and then fire hosing them when you know they actually need more. That feels weird and icky. But when you know and you believe in your body, like, you work with me, I can help you. Here's my process. We do this and this and this. This is what you're going to achieve. it's much more natural, and the client can feel that on the back end as well. On a consultation, it's not about being manipulative. It's not about convincing. It's actually very client focused of listening to them and their problems and their goals and telling them how your program is the solution and why in a very customized ways. There's no cookie cutter frameworks. And because when you're believing in your offer confidently, then you know that you can help them. And that switches all that exhaustion and overwhelm and inadequacy to now you are able to move through those and feel confident and proud and fulfilled and free. And that allows you to show up in a very different way. So I know we're getting close on time here. We're going to wrap this up. My client Jess, she's 100% online. She's a health coach and lifestyle coach for dancers, and she was stuck at 4K revenue months. Hated selling, hated consultations, and we made very subtle refinements and tweaks in her business. Of she was pitching a consultation as a free coaching call, so she was getting a lot of people showing up for free coaching, and because of that, she wasn't converting them. She was not intentionally doing this, but it was a bait and switch in a way. So we changed the name of her consultation to a consultation, and she started promoting it as a consultation, a way to learn more about working with her. And she went from a very low conversion rate to her next 4 people she had consultations with were yeses. And she was able to start hitting higher revenue months, in fact, hitting 9K revenue months and more, just by doing subtle tweaks and just how she was offering consults. And when you do this, you have a business that you love and a life that you have time to actually live. Okay, so here's the recap. You need your high ticket wellness offer, you need your marketing system, and you need high converting consultations. And here's why you want to start to implement these skills now. Because if you, like Jess, start to refine and tweak and change where the bottlenecks are in your business or the weak links are, whether it's growing your audience or getting people to book consultations or schedule discovery visits off a workshop. If you figure out where those issues are and you're able to solve them now in the last 90 days of the year, you're going to start 2025 in a very different place with a very different business and so much momentum. And here's the thing, when you're able to do this now, you're going to prevent yourself wasting a lot of time. So, example, when I was talking about the marketing plan of the person that's showing up on LinkedIn and Instagram or trying a Facebook Live video or now a workshop, and they're stopping and not consistent, it's like being dropped down in a trailhead. If you have a whole lot of trails circling that trailhead and starting down one trail and being like, that's too sunny, and turning around and going back, and then going down another trailhead and you realizing it's all uphill, and you're like, I don't like that trailhead, and then you're coming back, and then you're going down another trailhead and you're like, too many roots and it's not clear, so you have to bushwhack it, and being like, oh, I'm going to go back and start over. And you're searching for that easy trail, but yet you're not going anywhere because you're always back at the trailhead. You got to, the path of entrepreneurship is uncomfortable at times. There's going to be failures at times. You're going to hear no's at times. It's all normal. You just have to realize that nothing has gone wrong and you got to stick with the trail. You got to keep going. That's how you get to the end. That's how you get to somewhere new. So you're going to prevent yourself from wasting a lot less time if you just keep going. Plus, if you don't keep going and you keep stopping, and you're not showing up, clients aren't going to get the help that they need because they don't know that you exist. So if you're wondering, okay, that sounds nice, but how do I market on Instagram? How do I do these workshops and do the one-to-one sessions online, in person? How do I fit it in, like working 30 hours or less? So when you have your optimized system in place, you can do consults. you can do one-on-one sessions and you have time to marketing. In fact, your marketing shouldn't be more than 5 hours a week. You can do a whole marketing plan. Sometimes I do more because I have the time and I want to show up more. So right now I'm testing. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm doing some days 2 reels a day. That's a lot of reels and posts, but I have the time to do it. I'm experimenting because I feel very sufficient in my schedule. I end my days at 4 and pick up my daughter and don't work again. I don't work weekends. So I feel like at times I can play around and give more to my audience, and I have the energy to do that. So you're able to get it done. So here's the recap. When you have a plan that you trust, you'll believe it'll work and you'll go out and you'll show up more consistently. When you believe that people will purchase a high ticket offer, you'll stop and you're looking at your low ticket offers as the path, as the funnel to the high ticket offer. Then you don't have to only offer low tickets and not help people the way that they really need help. And you're not marketing all these different things. The process is much streamlined and simple. You're able to, when you have an offer, you're able to maximize all your certifications, especially if you're working online, and you get out of that burnout cycle and you move into the signing client cycle. um, you know now the risks of not showing up consistently, not creating that trust in your audience, not offering those consultations. And you've heard several case studies throughout today of how this process works, not only for me, but my clients as well. And when you do this, you have the potential to hit 5 figure months. You have clients that get results and they love working with you. You don't have to be forced to possibly give up your business and go work in a mill office, whether that's a mill physical therapy clinic, a mill massage clinic, mill teaching 10 plus yoga classes a week. You don't have to burn yourself out. You now will have a business that you love, because it is possible for you as well. And you can do that in the Awaken Business Coaching Program. This is my 6 month one-to-one program for wellness entrepreneurs just like you who want to hit consistent 5 figure months. You don't want to pencil in 10 hours of hoping and praying on Instagram, or posting and praying on Instagram, or showing up to workshops and not seeing any clients. You want to make a bigger impact. You want to get out of only dependent upon your body to bring in revenue, or working only with the local community there. You want to help work with those people and help that reach to you outside of your state or even country. You want to be that expert guide. So, what it is a one to one program where you work with me for 3 calls a month. You get direct message access or email support in between calls, especially during that off week. You get access to my community. Plus, you can submit emails, register workshop registration pages, landing pages to me for feedback. So it's very personalized and individualized. These are the main modules that you get when you work with me. We're going to go over them and break them down. So, for the high ticket wellness offer, I teach you there's a lot of niche and avatar, who's my person drama. So, we figure that out in the first session or two. So that way, we spend the rest of the 6 months actually getting out there and selling the program and tweaking through any of those weak links where people might fall off. You'll Another area of drama is people are like, "Well, I don't know the promise or the results that I feel confident in offering. So we figure that out. We figure out what are the tangible results or the outcomes people are going to achieve when they work with you. You'll understand your pricing that you feel confident charging, not just charging a high price because someone told you you need to charge your worth, or charging a low price because you feel people won't pay a high price. We find that sweet spot in confidence that you feel confident about in your pricing. You also get the clients on demand formula. So you know always how to bring in revenue in your business. And that creates so much safety and sufficiency in your business where you know you can go out and do this thing like a workshop or start to interact with people on Instagram and bring in a client today, not next week, not next month, not in a few months from now, but today. And that I have in a 30-day process. So you could day one start working with me and then just go through it step by step and bring in a client. You also get that 100K marketing and messaging guide. And this is where we really work on doing a message makeover. So your message resonates with your audience so that you can sign clients off of Instagram. You know who your client avatars are because I believe there isn't just one client avatar. You typically have more than one. And how do you message with all these different types of people? We work a lot on messaging through email or social media posts. I teach you the 5S. It's now become the 7S pillar framework where you have content for days, where you never have to wake up in the morning where you're like, I just don't know what to say. You just go to your own table and you have tons of content ideas. We go over the higher consultations. We figure out why people are saying no, or if you're scheduling follow ups, why they're not coming to the follow ups or they're still saying no then. So you can hit those 5-figure months. We break it down. You also get the 100K online wellness program. So if you want to transition 100% online, I teach you how to phase that in a very reliable way where you're not jeopardizing your revenue. You're not putting your business at risk by making big changes too quickly. I teach you how to phase that. Or if you want to work like Justine, 80% in person and 20% online, I teach you how to do that. Or you can flip it and be 80% online, 20% in person. I teach you how to phase your business so you get that sweet spot of working with people online the amount that you want to and working with people in person the amount you want to. You'll get the 6-figure lead generation workshop system. So again, you have a system where you're actually getting paid to market that always leads to clients. Like Dana, that's how Dana blew past her $2,000 a month revenue goal because she was just starting her business to 4,500. She's going to be hitting 8K months before she knows it. Um, so these are additional modules we work on. I actually have a module on how to make reels, how to have help a reel go viral if you want to do that, all in 90 minutes a week or less. As I mentioned, how to not only phase your clinic but get confident working with people online. We talk about how to actually bring your skills online, especially if you're a manual based therapist. And like I mentioned with Kelly, you'll learn if you teach a lot of yoga classes or any speaking engagement. Like I taught for Amy Porterfield, but I did sign clients from that Amy Porterfield event. But I was not able to promote my services at all. There was no pitch allowed, but I still signed clients. So, how do you sell without selling? I teach you how to do that. Plus, if you work with me, you can use this link here to book your consultation. We're going to get you that solve your problems at the end of this year during these last 90 days of the year. So you do have a new business, you have a new approach for 2025 where you clearly see how you're going to hit those 5-figure months. And again, because you're live, if you book a consultation right now, I'll give you a special individualized 30-day social media content plan where you'll see day one your messaging. I'll even write you a hook so you don't have to wonder what to say. It's just mapped out for you for the next 30 days. If you book your consult now and decide to work with me, you'll get that as part of your not immediately when you're onboarding, because I'm going to learn a little bit about your business in person, but within the next couple weeks, you'll have that 30-day individualized content plan. So you don't have to waste any time guessing. You can just get out there and start posting. And that applies if you're not on Instagram, it can apply to LinkedIn, it can apply to Facebook. Or even YouTube. If you want to focus it on YouTube, we'll talk about that together. But you'll get that if you book a consult now. You just use this that QR code. And if you're on the one-to-one sales page, then you can just say book a consult and you'll get the ability to fill out the application form. And then you just schedule your call right now and you'll meet with me and we'll talk about where you are in your business. I'll tell you what's blocking you from hitting the 5-figure months, and you'll leave with a plan regardless of what your decision is, whether to work with me or not. And again, if you do decide to work with me, I'll give you that 30-day content plan. So now we're going to move into some questions. I have some prepared, but since you're live, if you have individual questions that you would like to ask me, you can always drop those in the chat. And again, a few more people came in. So if you want to sign up for the Instagram, if you want to get the Instagram audit for me, just make sure you have left your Instagram audit in the chat, or you can personally send me that Instagram audit. If you're like, I don't want anyone to see my page, just send it to me and I'll help you get that page live and visible in front of more people that in a confident way. Again, if you have your own individual questions for me, you can drop those in the chat. I have some questions prepared too. So often with the program, people say, will I get my return? Will I get my return on investment? And it's shown by my one of my clients, Rachel, and one of my clients, Dana, who just started with me. Both of them have made their money back already within 30 days. I have so much built into that program to ensure that you're assigning clients now sooner rather than later. So you're making your investment back sooner rather than later. So then the rest is profit, which then you can choose to invest back into your business or bring it home and have it be profit for your lifestyle. You get to choose. And in fact, I help you. I have a whole this it wasn't mentioned in the modules. There's a lot of modules not mentioned because we just don't have time to go through them all. But I have a data and financing section in the portal, which helps you track your metrics, key metrics in your business to make sure things are working, how to manage your finances. There's a lot built into the program where I help to ensure that you are getting a return on your investment. Okay, so I have some questions here. What if we have no idea what we want to offer, but just know that we're burnout and can't continue? Sharon, you're not alone there, first of all. Yes, yikes indeed. I am so sorry. And that's what I specialize in. I'll help you figure out that offer because I know we talked. You are such a skilled practitioner and you have so much experience. I'll help you create that offer. In fact, we'll do that in the very first session. That is part of my job is to help you create that offer so then you can confidently go out there. You don't have to guess or wonder or doubt. So that's what we'll do together. Um okay, how much time will this take? Again, I work 30 hours a week or less, and I work anywhere with my week 15 to 20 clients. Some are in person because I have those just reoccurring in person patients that have been with me 5 or 10 years. 95% of my revenue is business coaching and online these days. Um, but I'm able to have that full client load and do consultation calls and I do all my own marketing. Anything you see on Instagram is me. Emails are me. I have some VAs now that help me do podcast and project based things. And I am going to be bringing on a VA to help me more with like customer service management and doing some reoccurring tasks in my business, but it is primarily me, and I'm able to do it in 30 hours a week or less. So if I can do it, then you can for sure do it. I just need to show you how. I have clients that have, because of either health issues or for children and such, where they don't want to work 30 hours a week and they want to work 20 hours a week. We work that out dependent upon what your revenue goals are. So we create realistic revenue goals based upon the schedule that you want to work. So it's all based upon you and what you want. Another question that I get asked is like, okay, well, I'm hearing about Betty or Rachel or Justine or all the people, Kelly, people on your podcast, but will this work for me? Because I have this and this issue going on, or like Sharon, I don't know my offer, or like someone else came to me and they're like, well, I only have 200 people on Instagram. Will this work for me? I can tell you, I've worked with so many wellness entrepreneurs. And as you heard from all these different client examples, they're all different. I have no client that is alike. Like Timey, for example, was just on the podcast. She's a speech pathologist. She's a yoga teacher and health coach. I have people that are not health providers at all, are health coaches like Jess. It doesn't matter. It will work for you. Again, I have progress markers that ensure every call I'm always checking on someone's progress, and we celebrate wins. And it takes less than 5 minutes on a call, but we have an opportunity for you to feel pride in your business and all that you created. And also, it's a measure for me to see what's happening in the day to day and week to week in your business. So I always have my finger on the pulse of your business. That's what it is, working one to one. It's very individualized. Plus, every month I send out a progress tracker. It takes less than 10 minutes to fill out, where you send me your numbers, which gets you comfortable working with your numbers. It's not mentioned here, but my client Lynn, she's on the podcast. She hit her first six-figure year. Can't remember now if it was last year or the year before. But she hated numbers, would never know her financial system, and it stressed her out. And same with my client Christina. She's also on the podcast. Not knowing your numbers can be so stressful because you don't know what's coming in, you don't know what's going out, you don't know if you're profitable. There's just a lot of unknowns. So when you're able to do your numbers and do them quickly, then you have the finger on the pulse of your business. Plus I have my finger on the pulse of your business. So I always know if you're seeing progress or not. And if you're not seeing progress, I know why. And we create a plan to fix it. So it will work for you. And that's what I ensure. So again, if you're interested in signing up, you can use this QR code here and book your consult right now. And if you decide to work with me, then you can get that individualized content plan, 30-day content plan, which you can implement and not have to worry about what to say on social media. So that is what I have for you today, unless there's any other questions. And again, if you haven't left your Instagram handle in the comments, make sure to do that. And I will give me about a week or so, and I'll drop your individualized audit in your DMs. So on Instagram. So look there for that. Um, and if you have any other questions, you can drop them right here. But it was a pleasure to get to meet you are. Okay, well, Sharon, if you want to talk more, you're happy to book a call. I'm happy to talk with you more. Oh, yeah, that's right. You already have an appointment booked. Okay. I know. Yeah, I saw it. It's coming up. I know it's in there. I know. I don't remember the date. Perfect. If you want that social media content calendar, I'll give it to you. If you decide to go ahead, that's fine. Even though you already had the call booked. Let's celebrate Sharon on taking this step. Anyone else, if you have want to celebrate booking a call or tell me you are going to book a call, free feel to drop that in the comments or any questions that you might have. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. There will be a replay. It will be automatically sent to you so you can re listen to this. And if you have any other questions that come up, especially if you're on the watching on the replay, many people are watching on the replay. You can always send me your questions. Sharon, I look forward to talking to you again. You're very welcome. It was lovely to see all of you here. Thank you so much for showing up. I look forward to talking with you more in the Instagram DMs and seeing your profiles. I really love doing that. It's so much fun. So I will see you in your Instagram DMs or in the email inbox or in the consultations, which I see some of you have booked. So that is so lovely. Okay, I will see you on the podcast. Also, you can listen to that in the meantime. All righty. Bye for now. Oh, Sarah says, oh, that's okay. Yeah, Sarah, just listen on the replay. I'm going to be sending that out later today. I'll give you an Instagram audit. That's no problem. And if you have any questions, just send it to me via email. I'll answer it. That's no problem as well. But I will look forward to. You're very welcome. I look forward to seeing you all in your email Instagram inbox. All right. Bye for now.